Good morning. This is Jeff with 123 LLC. We are advanced Zoho partners for 12 years as I say this. We've been in the CRM business now for over 30 years. We like Zoho. Today's topic is views in CRM. This is part of our Z School series, teaching you how to use Zoho products. We started out building a Zoho One system, and the first application we're exploring is CRM. That's pretty common. And we've covered a lot of areas, including customization. Today, we start with a very important topic called views. That's what Zoho calls them. Really, I call it seeing what you want to see or what you need to see. And let me explain what I mean by that. We're going to go to a demo system that we have. This system has very few records in it. That's all sample data. Because we're putting this on YouTube, I can't put live data on there, obviously. They don't like personally identifiable information up there, understandable. So we have 10 records here. If I go to the contacts section, there's a little counter down here. We have 10 contact records. But what's more typical in a CRM system is that you could have thousands of records. I've seen 500,000 contact records and 400,000 leads. And what happens then is you get a list here, and you have to page through the list to see all of your leads. You're looking for a needle in a haystack. We taught people how to find a record, but sometimes you want to see a list of records that matter to you. And the way to do that is with something called views. The current view that we're on is called all contacts. It's showing us all the contacts in the system. But you might want to only see your contacts, the ones that you are the owner of. And so if you click on the little drop box here, click on the three dots, new interface. There's a few views that come with the system. One is called My Contacts. These are the contacts I am the owner of. And in my case, I'm the owner of all 10, so nothing changed really. But I might want to see which contacts were new last week, and there are none. So you have these different views now. You can switch back and forth. Every time I turn one on, it kind of shows up in this bar. I could see which contacts were recently touched or modified. But there's times when you want to see a set of contacts that don't fit any of these criteria. So today's topic is how to build your own and manage your own views. And so I'm going to come down here to new custom view. You give the view a name, and I'm going to just say I want to see all of the contacts in the state of New York. So I'll give my view a name, New York State. And then there's criteria. How does a contact get to be on this list? Well, we're going to say that the field is mailing state is New NY. Now, in practice, I picked a bad example with states, but some of the states might actually be in there differently. They might be in there as New York spelled out. So I'm going to say mailing state is New York. And finally, the last thing I have to do is change this and to an or, because what I'm saying is no contact can be both NY and New York. I'm saying give me the contacts where the state is either New York or NY. And we can add other conditions on here as well. We're going to do that in a second. We can then come down here, and in the list view, I have the first name and the last name. Little tip here. There is a field called contact name that is both the first and the last name put together. So I like to put that on, and I like to take these two off. I might want to see the account name, which is the company they're at, and maybe the phone, the email, and just for laughs, we'll put the mailing city on here. But you can choose which columns you want to see in the view, and you can always do this later as well. And then you can reorder. If you wanted to see the account name first, you can just slide it up to the top. So this is the order in which the columns appear. So there's really three sections to this builder. The first is the criteria. How do you get on the list? How do you want to see the list? And then down here, who can see this list? The default is only me. You're the only person who's going to be able to use this view. But if you want everyone to use it, you would check this button, the radio button. And now everyone has it. It's common in larger systems where there's lots of users. Everybody creates 10 or 15 of their own views. The number of views can get really, really long. So if it's a view that you're only going to ever use, just make it for yourself. Finally, the last option is I can go in here and say, I'm willing to share this with my other user, Alfred. This is a 2-user system. I don't have any other, but I could just share this within my department. So this is a simple view. We're going to just save it. And I don't even know, we don't have any records here in New York. Let me go back to all contacts. I'm going to quickly edit one of these contacts and put them in New York. This one's in Maryland. We're about to move them to New York. So if I go back to the contact lists and I click on the New York State, now I'm seeing only the New York records because that's the view I created. So let me show you some tricks. I'm going to go into this New York one. I'm going to edit this view. I want to make changes to it. One of the common ones is what I call my New York State contacts. Now I want to put another, I don't want to see everybody in New York. I just want to see the ones that belong to me. So I'm going to add a third condition. And I'm going to say that the contact owner, that's the field commonly used to denote who owns this record. It's a field that comes with a Zoho. You may also want to add a custom field like salesperson or account rep. You don't have to use the owner field, but we recommend you do because of things like this. I can say contact owner is, and I could just pick me or I could pick Alfred. So if I picked Alfred, then I should call this Alfred's New York contacts. But if I pick this first option, logged in user, it's really whoever is looking at the screen. So this view will work for anybody in the system, but they'll all see something different because they will only be seeing their records. So I would share this with everyone. Alfred, my other user, could use the view. I'll save it. And I owned this record, so nothing really changed for me, but now it says my New York State contacts. So you can build some pretty complicated criteria. And I'm just going to take this to some examples because these are where people kind of get caught up. Let me say, I'm going to call this my New York and Pennsylvania contacts. New York, I don't know if you can use an ampersand, we'll find out. I mean, an and sign. Here I would add another condition that says contact state, and I'm not going to use all the variations of Pennsylvania. I'm just going to say mailing state is PA. Again, no record can be in New York and PA. I can't use these and conditions. So I would come down here and edit a pattern. And this is where I hope you're paying attention in high school math. We would say 1 or 2 or 4, oops, and 3. In other words, the state can be New York or PA. and I still got to have this third condition. So if I save this pattern, I got to have the right number of parentheses. They call them brackets, parentheses. Please check the pattern at 4. I probably should have, I'm going to back this out and just do this the way I would do it. Do all your states together and then do kind of group your terms here together. Um, State is PA and contact owner is logged in user. Again, I can't have an and here. I could probably just change, yeah, I gotta save this. So let me just change this to or. Again, they try to figure out these brackets for you, but you can just do this and that should work. Okay, save it. Oh, special characters are not allowed, so don't use an ampersand here. You gotta say and. So now this is giving me my New York and PA contacts, and of course, I don't have any Pennsylvania contacts in my 10 record database. But these views will help you focus on the list. Last thing I want to go over is related lists. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to create a new custom view. Actually, let me get out of here. I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to go to deals. Again, deals right now, we're looking at all deals. Well, over time, you're going to have a lot of deals in here that are from a year or two or 10 years ago. And they're just not, they're closed. They're not pertinent anymore. So you're going to want to look at, they have some in here like my deals. Again, my deals will contain deals from 5 years ago. So I like to build a view called open deals. I just want to know the ones that are in play. And so I'm going to say there is a stage here. We're going to look at the stage of the deal and say is, oh, we don't have record categories yet. Oh, hold on. So I can pick the stage values that matter to me. And here I'm going to pick all of the ones that are not closed, won, or lost. So I'm basically saying, show me all of the deals that are in the active stages. And then finally, I'm going to say the deal owner is logged in user, whoever's looking. We will call this my open deals, opportunities, whatever you call them. And again, I can share this with everyone because this will work for anybody. If you don't have any open deals, you'll see nothing. But now I'm just seeing the deals that are open. And to me, so if I go to these all deals, by the way, this is the Kanban view. Talk about that in it. But there's the closed deals are over here. Closed won, closed lost. If I look at the open deals, we told it only include the ones that are open. So the closed ones are gone. I'm only seeing the deals that are open. Uh, that's a good view to have. Okay, so now I want to talk about related lists because we showed views on deals and views on contacts. You can build a view on any module, custom modules, accounts, tasks, calls, any module. You'll see if I go to calls, there's attended calls, canceled calls, missed calls. Every module has views. These are the views that come with Zoho. You can make your own down here. Okay, so now I want to talk about related views a little bit. So I'm going to create kind of a weird view, but these will be helpful to you later. So we're going to go back to contacts. I'm going to create a new view. I'm going to say contacts with closed won deals. So I'm actually looking at contacts, but I'm also looking at contacts that have a deal, and that deal was won. So I'm actually pulling data from like two modules, right? The contacts module and the deals module. So it says here related modules criteria, and I'm going to turn that on. Contacts with deals. And then in here, I'll say the stage is closed won. We can add other conditions, but I'll just leave this at this just to keep it simple. I'll make this only available for me, but now I have a list of, oops, I got to show, you know what, I'll put my contacts on here just to satisfy the first condition. You could do something generic like name is not empty. That'll just give you everyone. But I will say contact owner is me, whoever's looking. And so now I see not just a list of contacts, but contacts we've actually sold something to. And if I go to Ms. Tolner here, I can see there's a deal in here, and the deal was closed won. So I got a list of customers. I could build a list of customers who were quoted but did not buy. I could build a list of customers who won but haven't bought in a year or two, and maybe I want to email those people. So um, there's a lot of things you can do with views. I'll probably talk about that in the next session. Once you have a view, you might want to schedule a call with all of them. You might want to send them all an email. You know, that gets into the activities type stuff. But first, you have to be able to build a view, and that was the point of today's topic. You have your most commonly used views here. A couple other things about views. Let's see if I can. If you have a view, oh, by the way, views that are created by you will be at the top here. Public views are the views that people have created to share with everybody. I believe you can you can pin this to the top of the list, and it will be on the screen all times. Again, this list can get very long as people build, you know, they're always mining the database because they want to do some kind of campaign or they want to do some kind of a sales effort. So first we have to identify a group of people we want to target. So that's views. It's really important to be able to go into your database and select, you know, the most likely people. You have to be able to build these views, share them, and that will do it for today. Thank you very much for attending. Once again, this is Jeff with 123 LLC and 123.com. If you ever want to, spelled out, by the way. If you ever want to get a hold of us, we've been partners for a long time. Thank you very much for attending.